Hey everybody, welcome back to Proud to be Pagan. Today we're going to be going through something you would think would be very easy to know, but a lot of people don't really truly know, and that's how to find your element. And it's really actually quite simple. Now you can look up your astrological sign, you can look up the day, time, and month you were born, and correspond to the location you were born, and you can find your element. But the easiest way to do it, and probably the best way, is to just commune with the elements. And when we find out what your element is, we can create your elemental familiar. And we can also find out what your soul stone is. I'd referenced that in the last episode. I had a couple questions about it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, it's about time you join me on the floor over here. Let's get started here. Alright, so what you're looking at here is all four elements together, with the physical elements. So I have earth, which I'm going to go ahead and lift these up. I haven't drawn a circle yet. I've actually just used potting soil, as you can see, but it's just something you can physically feel. For water, just a little bit of actual water. For fire, or you can use a tea light. These don't flip over as bad. They're smaller and easy to put out. And for air, a simple, small incense. Well, stick incense really, but no, it works. And of course I've got my wand. And I've got my athame. So, let's go ahead and start this here. What we're going to do is we're going to start with what I call a solitary circle. It's a circle just around your working area. It's really easy to do. Again, wand or athame or just your hands. Either way, it's okay. And you don't need to worry about what's north, south, east, and west at this point. You just need to have a protection circle around you while you're working. That's all it really is. You can do the full circle and invoke each point if you want. However, in this case, we just need protection. We need to be purified. So we'll start at the front, our focal point, and draw a circle around us. Stop at the back because that gets awkward. And back around again. Not completely. You're going to do it 2 more times. Very simple. As long as you go back to the point where you were at before. So if you want to look back and see where you pointed at and bring it back, that's fine. As long as you complete the circle. Now, obviously, we can't make our arms go all the way around us. If you feel more comfortable instead of doing the ground, a lot of people will do one on the ground like that, one in midair of themselves because they can wrap their arms around it, and again, above them, making a trifold protection around them. At this point, you'll set your wand and athame down, close your eyes, and imagine those 3 rings you just made either on the ground or in the 3 levels above you, going back and forth as purple rings around you. And as they do that, they're leaving a trail behind them. They're going to circle around you, creating a circle around you and your work area, a big sphere of purple light, spreading out almost as if the line itself was like a giant, let's say, crayon. So every time it trails, you see a small little leftover of that purple. And do that until it's completely surrounding you, almost like you've been colored in. Once you have that image in your head, then you can keep it. We can go ahead and start. And it's actually really simple. Start with your lighter elements, or I should say the ones you have to light up. Your candle and your incense. always handy to have a lighter, disposable one around, so you can light. Now again, if you're in a dormitory or if you are in an apartment where you don't want to have a lot of candles, of course, as we mentioned before, there are other ways of having the fire and air element. Now, once you have that here, you can now feel the elements. Start however you wish, and you're just going to take your hands, and you're going to feel the elements. First, what we're going to do is we're going to handle the earth. Now, again, I use potting soil, but it still is basically, for lack of a better term, dirt. And you're just going to actually put it in your hands, just like that. And you're going to just cup around it and feel it. What this does is it brings the physical into your mind, really. Because you're going to imagine the earth itself. You're going to see yourself feeling the earth, feeling the actual ground below you. And you're going, it's a visionary interpretation. However, with this in your hand, you now have the physical go on with it. So you close your eyes and imagine yourself feeling the ground, standing on the earth, with your shoes off and your toes just digging into the dirt and becoming one with it. You can feel the roundness of the earth. You can feel the hardness and the wholeness of the ground you stand on. At the same time, you can feel it in your hands, which are one of the more sensitive parts of your body for all energy work. So let's go ahead and put that physical thing there. Once you can feel it and your eyes are closed, and you feel as you become one with it, you can then let the element go and return it, and then clean your hands off of it, because it is kind of dirty. And I also like to clean my hands, energetically. So I'm going to go ahead and brush off my hands after each one as well. All right, so the next thing we're going to go to is our air element. Now, at the incense, it's just going to have the smoke bellowing from the top, and that's all you want. So you don't want to get anywhere near that part right there. That's really not a fun thing. I've put my hand on it before. It burns, but usually put it out. But it's still not pleasant. So let's keep it above the ember. And this is where it really comes into play, because you can't really feel the smoke too much. You can feel some of the heat, and some people can feel the smoke, but it's a lot more subtle than the rest of the elements. So you're going to go ahead and put your hands above it. Now, keep your eyes open for this one. You want to be able to see that you're not putting your hand into a burning ember. And just close your palms above it. And now, imagine yourself standing outside, a big field of grass, grain, whatever you grew up near. As long as it's not enclosed. So not a forest or anything of that nature. You want something where the sun is shining down, the clouds are right above you, not too cloudy, it's a nice clear day. Like when you were a kid, imagining the just nice blue skies and how just awe-inspiring it was to see that. Now, because we're putting in the ethereal with the physical, we can now feel this element. And again, once you get to that point to where you actually can feel like you're breathing in different air and you're feeling a breeze through your hair, go ahead and release the element. The next one we're going to do is water. Only because we're about to go near a flame next. So let's go ahead and get some water on our hands. And if your hands look like mine, they still have some dirt on them. So also a chance to clean your hands off a little. But what you're doing is you're feeling the water itself. Now, you don't have to pour it in your hand, but get your hand a little wet there. You can even put your hands right into the bowl and leave them there. What you're feeling for is the temperature, the texture. Feel it flowing. Move your hand around. Feel it flowing through your fingers. At this point, you're at a nice small creek, and you're feeling the water flowing past your fingertips. You can hear it just gurgling down the creek as it's passing over some rocks that are going down into a more shallow end of the creek. You can hear the sound and feel the water actually running through your fingertips. Release the element. Now, for this, I like to leave my hand a little bit damp, but still room temperature. So go ahead and shake off your hands a bit here. And you want them to still be a little damp. It's just a safety issue. You can do it either way you want to, but this is the way I prefer it. Now at the room temperature and a little damp, so you don't have the cold, you can feel the temperature again. You go ahead and go towards your flame here. Now, I must exercise caution here. This is a flame. It's hot. It's open. And while you're imagining the feel of the heat and the flame, and your eyes are closed, I would still have it under some kind of enclosure or plate or bowl or something. Just so if you knock your hand into it, it doesn't fly everywhere. And that's why I like the tea lights, because once you knock this over, it's pretty much out. So at this point, you're just going to put your hands in more of what I like to call a Reiki position, but it's an open-handed healing position over the flame. Don't get too close to it. You just want to feel the heat of the flame. Because with fire, heat doesn't stay in one place. It comes and goes as the flame waves around. So at this point, you want to feel yourself in an open area with a big bonfire. And most people have felt that. Feel what the heat feels like around you, how it waves at you, wave after wave. There's intense heat, and then it lets off. And there's more intense heat, then it lets off at you again. And that's what you want to feel. When you can feel like you're standing inside of that flame without completely, catching yourself on fire, that you're one with that flame, you start dancing with it. And to have that feeling, release the element. Now, here's where your memory has to serve you. Which one of these here made you feel the calmest, the most nostalgic, or, well, I should say more at peace than more calm? Once you've found that out, you can go ahead and completely release your elements. And as you can tell here, if you flip that over, that can go out. So that's why I like those. Those are good. And I got a little wax myself, but it's better than burning down the house or apartment. So let's go ahead and keep it that way. All right. And once you're done, set your elements off to the side. You're going to need them once again. And that's why I didn't douse this, is because we may need to relight it. All right, now there is a reason why we didn't do a full circle around here. That's because we need to be able to move around. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create your elemental. And it's really easy to do. First, we need some kind of containment. Now, this elemental familiar is something you can go back to for assistance. So it's not something, it's kind of like the fairy realms. You can build fairy houses and everything to house fairies. They don't actually live there. They can come and go as they please. But when you open that door or that box, you can use their essence to help you in your works. So we need some kind of container for our elemental familiar. And something you're creating out of the ethereal, out of the element itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to do that. It's really simple. Now, once you've found your element, you're going to take that box you have right here. And I've got stuff in this one, so it's actually not going to make one today or create an elemental familiar, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Because this is actually my son's, keep chest for his stones. So I'll go ahead and leave that there. But what you're going to do is very simple. My element is air. And the weird thing is, my element for my zodiac sign and my birthright and all that stuff is water. But my ethereal element, my personal element, is air when it comes to this. Now, you're going to find different elements for different things. For example, when it comes to my soul stone, it's fire. When it comes to my elemental familiar, it's air. Now, you'll feel it for different situations, just like every other energetic work, really. When you sit down with a purpose, and you always do. Everything you do is with a purpose. So when you sit down feeling the elements for your familiar, your feelings are going to come to where your familiar is going to be. When you sit down with the purpose of just finding out what your element is, it's going to tell you what your element is. And again, mine's fire either way. And when you sit down with your soul stone, it's going to be whatever that is. So you may have 3 separate elements that correspond to you and your practices. And again, mine, this is air. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how the air one works. And I'm just going to stay right here, camera without me on it. I'm going to relight my incense. And you're going to do this for any kind of element. I'm just using the air one. And it's easier. I don't have to empty my son's box. So anyway, you're going to take your container, and you're going to fill it. And it could be any container. It could be a cardboard box. Just be careful with the flame stuff with the cardboard. It could be a jar. It could be anything that would be stopped up and contained, because you want to keep the energy that that elemental is working on, that familiar is working on, contained. And you're simply going to contain the energy somehow. And in this case, the physical smoke is going to be contained. As soon as it looks like I have enough in there, I close the box. Now, of course, some are going to leak out. This is the non-physical. Now we've got the physical in there. It can feel the physical. We keep the elemental inside. Keep the box closed and go back to your work area. Now for fire, actually I'll do it with all 4 just to show you, since I'm not creating an elemental familiar. I got to stop saying elemental familiar. I'm going to show you how to do it with all of them. And again, I love the tea lights for these because they're very easy to manipulate. Simply flame, and just for like, a couple seconds here, and then close quickly to keep the essence of that in there. Water's an easy one. You're obviously just going to drip a couple drops of water in there, close it up. And earth the same way. If you use a stone to feel earth, you're just going to put that stone right inside. Make sure it's a small one. All right, now once you have that done, this is the really, 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 really easy part. The same way you felt the elements, you're going to feel the container. Keep it in your hands and close your eyes. Once you do that, you can start feeling the element again. Feel what that element you put inside was. Feel the same feeling. Start going through your alphabet. When it feels right to stop on a letter. Now, that letter is going to be the first letter of the name of the elemental familiar. From there, you can name it anytime you want. And once you find a name, you can invoke it. The box is only a container. It's a physical thing for it to come back to. This is a free-roaming spirit you're creating here through energetic means. So, once you have the name, you open your box and invoke its name. Just like you invoke an element to your circle, not quite like the god or goddess, because that's a little bit different, I come invoking, and don't want to make them angry. If you make your elemental angry, there's more energy out there to use, so it's okay. And you'll do the same thing. Once you feel the presence of the element again, even without the element present, you know your familiar's in the room, and they can help you with your workings. And that is an elemental familiar. All right, guys, we're running a little low on time, so I just want to go over really quick the soul stone. Now, I told you I had found fire for mine. You want to do the same kind of meditation that you did before. That's where you feel the elements in your hands, and you feel which one would be the right for the practice you have. Now, this is a tricky one. You actually have to read. You have to pick up a book and actually find out which one it is. Because I don't have them all in my head. Now, I could probably tell you a couple offhand, but I don't have them all stuck in my head. So once you find out which element your soul stone belongs to, you're going to pick up a book like, I like to reference Grimoire for the Green Witch by Anne Moira, which I'm trying to find, and I can't find it anywhere. It must be in with the other books in the basement. We've been still shuffling things around. But you can take a look back at some of our previous episodes. I'll link one of them probably up here to where we actually referenced our book. And that has a lot of good correspondences for anything elemental. Once you find your element, go ahead and see the stones listed. If you can find those stones, do the same kind of meditation across them. When you feel which one it is, and you can do it without even opening your eyes, close your eyes and put your hand across each of them. Whichever one feels right to you, whichever one feels closest to you, pick up, open your eyes and look at. When you feel that stone, when you see it, you know which one it is. It's all about feeling and how you're feeling. Now, this is personal to you, so there's no book, I can't even tell you how to do it. You have to find out for yourself. So go out there, do your elemental meditations, and find what's right for you and find your element. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and it's been a real great journey with you guys. We're going to keep it going. We've had so many subscribers every day. I keep getting more and more emails of our new subscribers. So if you really like what you're seeing and want to keep it up, go ahead and hit those like and favorite buttons as well. They really help us keep the videos going. Subscribe, of course, and we really appreciate you watching. We're going to keep this up as long as we can. Again, thank you for watching Try to Be Pagan, and blessed be.